Peace to the guys walking the earth. I love myself. Man, you gotta start applying this information, fam. You gotta start applying this information on reflection. Okay? There are 5 sciences that prove to you, that can prove to you that everything is connected to you, everything is you, the universe is you, everything that happens around you, all the people in your life is you, everything is a reflection of you, and that you are God because everything is fractal. There are 5 sciences, okay? And I'm going to explain them right now. I'm going to start with astrology, because astrology is very, very important. It's one of the sciences. Is one out of the 5 sciences that is major. Is major. It's one of the most important sciences. Why? Because astrology teaches that everything that happens within the cosmos affects your personal life. Everything that happens in the stars affects everything that happens on earth. As above, so below. What happens in heaven happens on earth. Everything is a projection of what happens in the stars. You see the sun every day. You see the moon every day. You see all these stars in the sky. But do you ever think about what they are for? What they are doing? How they are affecting your life? And what do they mean? No. We don't actually think about this stuff on a daily basis. Not anyone that's in the lower self or anyone that's, you know what I'm saying, having gotten to the point or been through an experience that opens their mind to focus on that. What we have to acknowledge is that astrology will teach us that the sun is your mind. All of the stars in the sky are suns. There are different pieces of your mind. There are different mental realms, dimensions of your mind. And all of the planets within our solar system is a mansion. It's actually a dwelling place for our different states of consciousness. Okay? These planets in our solar system, all of the light from the sun powers all of these planets, including the earth. So without the sunlight, then you would not have, there would be no thing, there would be no existence. The sun is a vacuum, it's a vacuum for dark matter to be converted into consciousness, for unconsciousness or nothingness to be converted into subconsciousness and consciousness, so that we can be more aware of what we are on this plane. We can be more aware, so the universe can be self-aware, basically. That's what the human body is for. The human body is so that the universe can be self-aware. And when you study your natal chart, you must go get your natal chart. What I use Astro Theme, but you can use anything. You can use Tarot.com, Grupo Venus, Astro Matrix. You can use any of that. I use Astro Theme because I like the setup. I like the way it's set up, and I like how everything is patterned out. You know what I'm saying? For me to learn the way I want to learn myself. But yes, you must study your natal chart. Study your natal chart because each planet, sign, and placement within the houses affects your personality. Not only does it affect your personality, it is ingrained within your consciousness, within your neural melanin and your breath, to be how you express yourself when you first come into this realm as your natural ego. This is your natural ego. This is what is before you are societally programmed. Before you are societally programmed, this is how you express yourself and perceive life. And because of you expressing yourself this way and perceiving life this way, you attract and repel certain situations in and out of your reality, in and out of your conscious experience of reality. That's astrology. The next one is biology / epigenetics. Biology is the study of life, all biological matter. Biology is the study of your cells and what you are. See, we are an accumulation of cells, of trillions and trillions of cells, and we don't realize it. Every day, people miss this every day because we are so distracted by the system of Babylon of going and working for other people, or being distracted by television and entertainment and things of that matter. We have to actually acknowledge that, okay, you think you're just one being, which is true, but you're also many, many beings. You're also many cells. Trillions of these cells make up your body. You are the mind. Your mind operates this body. Consciously, we are operating this body. Subconsciously, all of our cells have their own states of consciousness and operate this body simultaneously. So you are literally a cell within the body of God. All of these cells look up to you. All of the trillions of cells within your body look up to your mind and react to everything that you are thinking about in order to keep in equilibrium. They get messages from what you are thinking. What you are thinking makes your brain send out specific electrochemical codes to the rest of your body, the rest of the cells in your body. And if those cells are healthy, they're going to send you codes back and tell you, okay, this is how you should think about what you're thinking about. And then it sends all that back to your brain. Your brain makes it and makes you perceive reality. As above, so below. Astrology is biology. So in order to know your genetics, which are the things that your cells use, your body uses to even make more cells, you must study astrology. You must know how your cells are being created. Like I said, everything you perceiving is an aftermath of what you think and how you express how you're thinking. We are all connected through biology. Biology first starts off with DNA, point blank period. And DNA is infinite. All biological things on this plane of existence start from DNA. We are all connected through DNA. Through this DNA, different pieces of the DNA, through this infinite mind of God, which we truly are. Pieces of the DNA called genes are taken by your ribosomes, and pieces of that are copied into RNA in order to create a phenotype by using that RNA to create different proteins, which in turn make cells. These ribosomes copy the DNA, the pieces of DNA, to make more cells, depending on what information that is within that piece of DNA, those genes. In order to know that, study your astrology. It is easier to study your astrology now than trying to find a microscope and break down one of your cells, put it on a plate and try to break it down and get your information and look through a microscope, where you can just look at the stars, or you can just search for the information here on the earth plane that's right in front of you, like your freaking phone, the internet. There's a reason for these things. Everything is fractal. As above, so below. Everything is fractal. So if you have a mind, if you think you have your own mind, then your mind truly is the all, the mind of the all. Everything that exists, period, collectively, is your mind, truly, objectively. Though subjectively you think you have your own mind and you're experiencing your own life, that is just a projection of the pieces of genes that are coming through the DNA to be experienced. The next one is melanin. Melanin is dark matter. Melanin is the substance of light communicating with itself. Melanin is what's in your skin and what's in your brain, in your hair, skin. In your hair and eyes. It's the dark pigment. It's a dark pigment, a chemical compound that allows one to take in light and use it for specific things within the body. You see, we have 3 types of melanin on this plane. There's eumelanin, which is the melanin in your skin, which makes your skin a battery. It makes your skin a battery able to absorb as much light, all of the electromagnetic spectrum. And all of the electromagnetic spectrum is infinite, whether it's invisible or visible light. What we call darkness is actually light as well. It's just a different form. Light is darkness. Darkness is light. When the darkness communicates with the light, it's actually light communicating with itself. Your melanin is dark. What you see around you is light. When the melanin within you communicates with that, it begins to power its own self through nuclear fusion instead of nuclear fission, which causes combustion and division and explosion. Nuclear fusion makes things come together and constantly reciprocate itself over and over and over again to live infinitely. So your body is literally made to live infinitely. The second type of melanin we have is pheomelanin. With pheomelanin is a melanin that basically was adapted or genetically modified into our existence from us leaving our natural environments, and the eumelanin within our body wanting to adapt to all of the situations that's happening. That's why we have different types of skin colors. Is usually the red type of melanin. It's why we have different types of hair, different types of eye colors, and things of that matter. Now, the neuromelanin is the third type of melanin, which is very important, which will end all discrimination on this planet once we understand these 3 types of melanin. Neuromelanin is the melanin that is inside your brain and trickles down your whole central nervous system, and that is what is activated when you are born and you take your first breath coming out of your mother's womb, and the air goes into your body and it fills your whole body with this information. And also, as you are coming out the womb, your head is very, very soft, Your skull has not formed hard like how it is, you know, when you're growing as, you know what I'm saying, when you get older, or when you you know what I'm saying, when you mature, as your body is maturing, your skull gets harder. But before this, it's soft. It's very soft, so that as soon as you come out of as soon as you portal through, the celestial lights, all of the subtle energy within the cosmos hits your head. It hits your head, and your head is your skull is soft, so that subtle energy can trickle into your neuromelanin, which is in your brain, and outlines your brain and your central nervous system. All of this is happening at one time in order to fulfill you having an expression of your soul through all of your spirits that incarnate into this body. This is the importance of melanin. Fourth one is grounding. Grounding and / earthing. Grounding lets you connect, keeps you in connection with the earth, which is truly your body, which is truly your motherboard. You see, you have positive ions. This is scientific. You have positive ions, which makes you very, very active, what makes you want to do things, makes you want to be aware, more aware of things. But if you have too many positive ions, it can cause imbalance within your body and with all of your cells and the functioning of all of the systems of your body. And when this system malfunctions, it causes dis-ease. When your cells are not at ease, when your mind is not at ease, that causes dis-ease. You don't get a dis-ease. A dis-ease is not a noun. Dis-ease is a state of being. It is a verb. It is an adjective. Or an adverb. It is a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. You're at dis-ease. When you're at dis-ease, it's a state of being. Okay? The earth puts out negative ions. The earth is very still and calm. If you look around in nature, it just allows things to flow. It allows the sunlight that is powering the cosmos, that is powering our galaxy, our mansion that we're living in, and all of the many rooms. It allows it to express itself through it gradually and gracefully. These negative ions help us to balance, keep balance. Your body is literally is meant to connect to the earth and stay connected as much as possible. This lighter pigment on my hand, and the lighter pigment on your feet lets you know that you have nodes. These are nodes. Nodes are things that connect to other things in order to create energy transference successfully. Okay? So when you go outside, you're supposed to, even when you're not outside, you're supposed to always have negative ions around you. Should always have negative ions, because positive ions push. They're very active. They always want to push. Negative ions pull. So if you have any free radicals within your body and you go out and you ground and you earth, it will pull. It will automatically stabilize your blood flow and all of the activities of your cells and pull out any free radicals in your body through your nodes, your hands and feet. If you notice, when children play outside, they love to play with the dirt. Our hands and feet must constantly be in the dirt. Our hands and feet must constantly be in the dirt. And if we are not in the dirt, then we have to utilize the copper and the wires and ground our living space, so that we can constantly be in communication with the energy flow of the universe and be in balance to end dis-ease. Be at ease. The less stress you have, the longer you will live. The less stress you have, the longer your telomeres will be. Your telomeres determine how long you live. And the more stress you go through and environmental issues you go through, that your telomeres lessen and lessen over time, depending on what you eat, how you respond to things, how you see life. The fifth science is quantum physics. Through quantum physics, we know that all of reality is just our observation. When you break down an atom to its basic structure, it is mostly nothingness. That nothingness is actually dark matter. That nothingness is the source of light. That nothingness is just waves of infinite potential. These waves are in what we call superposition. Superposition states that everything, all of the waves in existence, all of the atoms are truly everywhere that they could be at one time, and nothingness at the same time. Nowhere. Everywhere that you can be at one time and nowhere is what you actually are. You are actually nowhere, but you are actually everywhere at the same time. And this proves that you are the mind. You are the mind of God. And whatever you are seeing, when you look into the details of that wave collapses into particles, into what we call material existence. Once you look upon those waves become more active and begin to give off possibilities and realities that can be experienced. So your mind is literally projecting your body here. Your mind is making up the reality, and your mind is making a body with the elements of that same reality and pushing and projecting its own consciousness, its objective consciousness through your subjective body. Through its subjective body, which we call ourselves us. These 5 sciences must be taken into full consideration and applied in our daily lives. These sciences were organized by carbonation, and carbonation was enlightened and invoked, and the Holy Spirit was invoked in them through the most honorable prophet, immortal chief, Eligio the Christ, my higher self, chief of the earth plane, commander-in-chief of the earth plane. We have to take in these sciences and apply these things to our lives on a daily basis. You can sit up and call yourself God all day. You can be arrogant. You can be prideful. You can be a lower self God. You can be the devil, which is God in disguise. You can say you're God all day, but you don't even know that you got a mask on, which is not your true self, which is a false ego, and not your natural ego, because you don't know your true ego, because you don't know we have been placed in unnatural environments for thousands of years. And these genes we must work through to overcome and surpass and reformat these generational curses in order to alchemize all the energy within our lives and manifest the kingdom of heaven on earth, as our bodies and everything in nature is already naturally manifesting what's in the stars on different planes of existence, of physicality, what we can see as physicality. This is a high vibrational realm. We must see that whatever we look into, whatever the details we look into of anything, we are collapsing waves into physical reality, making it more active, which means it's higher frequency. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The waters of Nu is the quantum field. The Spirit of God is the mind making things more active. Spirit just means activity. When you're a spirited, it means you are highly active. And it says that the earth was void without form, which means it was within the waves and a possibility that could be experienced. And when our mind looked into the details of that, we activated, we collapsed that wave into high activity in order for it to be experienced. There's so much activity that we think this stuff is solid. The atoms are moving around so fast. These waves are interacting with one another so high with so much activity, so much energy that we think this is solid, when actually this is a simulation. And through these 5 sciences, you can see that this life is holographic, but it is also purposeful. So we must take all of these 5 sciences into consideration: astrology, biology/epigenetics, melanin, grounding/earthing, and quantum physics. I love myself, family. Shout out to carbonation. Peace to the guys walking the earth. I love myself.